Hey crafters, welcome back to another video. You can tell that I have been having way too much fun wearing my ice dyed clothing and accessories from our last video. I mean, summer, that's the time, right? You gotta seize this beautiful moment for crazy bright colors and, maybe low commitment projects that don't take forever, and if they're not perfect, they're still awesome. I mean, yeah, gotta seize this moment. So, yeah, I'm doing another fabric dyeing project today. Hey, I said I love this kind of project. I mean, I definitely try to do some kind of tie dyeing or ice dyeing or whatever every summer, possibly multiple times. So, we're gonna be doing another project today. But in our last video, we were at my parents' house. I was able to borrow their backyard, had a lot of space to work with, and I could do it outside. I live in an apartment though, so I'm gonna have to scale my project back a little bit, but I can still make it work. Let's say that, today is kind of baseline tie-dyeing. You can go a little simpler, but not too much. This is, I think, is about as simple as it gets, and you could also make it, you could use more complicated processes. You could use higher quality dyeing products and such to get even cooler results. But since I have kind of small space, I'm kind of going low budget today. We're going to keep it basic. I think we're still going to like the results. And it's kind of on trend too. I gotta say, I was doing a little shopping and I was seeing lots of tie-dye out there. So I think we're gonna get good results. Let me just put it out there though, if you have a little more time and you want to experiment with some other tie-dyeing processes and just see what other products are out there, there's this really cool company called Dharma. They're not sponsoring me to say this or anything, but they're in California and they've been creating products for fabric art for decades. And so if you go onto their website, you can look up different types of dyeing processes and they'll give you some directions and recommend some products. They have really high quality stuff. So that's a little shout out. If you have maybe a little bit more time, you're going to invest in your project a little bit more. I love their stuff. But again, today I'm keeping it basic. Let's check out what I'm working with. Oh yeah, good old-fashioned Rit dye. I actually got this at Safeway yesterday. You can get it at Joann's, especially if you want more colors. Joann's or Amazon is good for this. I'm not quite sure exactly what color I'm going for. They didn't have a lot of choices when I was at the grocery store, of course. I'm going to go for a navy blue, but I'm going to use more fabric than they recommend. And I'm going to use a little more water than they recommend. So I think I'm going to kind of neutralize the color out a little bit just because there's going to be a lot of fabric for not all that much dye. So I'm hoping to get more of like a smoky gray bluish kind of a thing. I'm only using one color today. So that's, baseline, keeping it simple. You could totally do multiple colors, dye a batch, rinse out all the dye, and then dye it again. I mean, you could do so many cool projects with this. I'm going basic today. I also perused the clearance racks. This guy's from Old Navy. A terry cloth sweatshirt. Definitely needs a little tie-dyeing. This Rit Dye says they work best with cotton, linen, rayon, silk, wool, and nylon. So today I'm sticking with cotton and cotton blends to try to get that dye to really stick. I got one other piece here. This guy was from Target. Wow. It's kind of like a cocoon dress. Whoa, whoa. It's wider at the top and it kind of narrows down towards like knee length. It's a little wacky, but I think it definitely could use some tie-dye. It's a little bit see-through, and the I don't know, yoke? What do you call this? The binding around the neckline kind of shows through white when you're wearing it, so it needs some tie-dye. Okay, I'm going to get these guys started. Let's do a little tying and then we'll go to the dyeing part. Awesome. Okay, so I got my handy dandy rubber bands. You can also use yarn or string to tie this stuff up. Use what you got. Let's dive in. Oh, and just a note, Rit Dye's website has a whole bunch of ideas for like different ways to tie garments and actually like recipes so that you could make different colors using their stuff. So I mean, I'm just giving you shout outs to all my favorite ideas out there. Sky's the limit with this stuff. If you want to do a little research, there's great stuff out there. Since I'm keeping things basic today, I think I'm going to do pretty basic tying. I'm not going to be doing a lot of really specialized patterns. I'm kind of going for more like overall patterns. I'd rather get more of like kind of a watercolored effect that doesn't necessarily draw attention to different parts of the pattern. So I think for my sweatshirt, I'm going to do kind of like an accordion fold and kind of like, I don't know, pool ripples. Like, how do you call that when they're like waves? Let's see what I'm talking about here. Okay. I think I'm gonna kind of fold in my sweatshirt arms a little bit. And I don't know. Let's see. I think I'll start at this end and kind of do like a fold in and then like a fold out. So I kind of have like an accordion, kind of, roughly. Do it again. Whoa, another fold. And let's do another one. I got him another fold. Okay, back on under there. Okay, I don't have the sleeves. Let's do that again. Fold. Okay. Let's double check it here on the back. Whoa. Ah. Okay, I think I'm going to smooth out that sleeve a little bit. Maybe just do a little bit like that. Huh. Okay, so I kind of have sort of accordion folds-ish. Yeah, like you could get more specific if you want. Okay, let's start at the bottom. I'm going to wrap this guy up. I'm not wrapping him too tightly in the rubber bands because I do want the dye to be able to get into some of these folds a bit. It seems like if you wrap things really tightly, you don't get a whole lot of dye on the inside of the garment just from this technique. So hopefully I'm not doing it too tightly. Although it would be kind of cool to have like darker on the like sleeves and edges of the garment and have it a little lighter towards the middle. So I don't know. However it turns out, I think it's going to be cool. Yes, you often do get lines from the rubber bands. So it's good to kind of have them where you want them. I think the lines from the bands look really cool. Just a good thing to keep in mind that where you do have a rubber band, you may get kind of a lighter line from the dye. Okay, so I'm going to try to make sure that sleeve's in there. Okay. I think we've got sweatshirt where we need it. I think the fabric will stay tied down but not flop around too much when it's in the dye. So, okay. I think that one's done. Now for the dress, again, trying to keep things kind of basic. I mean, you could go really crazy with doing some cool patterns like starbursts and different things for a garment this big, but I think what I'm going to do is just try to get kind of a marbled effect. So I'm going to just try to bunch it up somewhat evenly so that the top, the middle, and the bottom of the dress all get some exposure to the dye, roughly evenly? Question mark. So I think I'm just gonna like do little pinches about the same distance apart and just kind of try to pinch the fabric up to itself so that it's pinched relatively evenly. And it's not going to be perfect. Just going to keep pinching. Kind of ish. I mean, you can play with it, you know, as much or as little as you want. Yeah, that's a good place to start. Okay, so I'm going to grab some really big rubber bands and just kind of try to get this into a kind of rubber bandable shape. It's probably going to come undone a little bit. That's okay. We'll just work with it. Okay, got that. Okay, so we got to re-scrunch this a little bit. Okay, it's okay. Let's try to get another one maybe down here. Okay, that's kind of got the middle scrunch. Let's try to get the top scrunched. Not sure where I want that. Maybe right about there. Definitely don't want that part of the neckline to be unscrunched. Don't want any unscrunched. Okay, so let's see. Gonna just try to make sure we've got kind of evenly spaced rubber bands ish. Okay, so that's pretty good. I don't think I want this quite as floppy, or this is floppy. You could just totally leave the hem out of the scrunch, and that could be really cool. Maybe I'll just do like a really big rubber band kind of across the whole thing. I don't know. Ooh, okay, that's scrunching. Let's try another big one. See if we can do a little more scrunching down here without making everything come apart. Okay, not loving this, so I think I'm gonna try to tuck that in a couple more of these bands so I don't have too much floppiness. Okay, maybe we're doing one more. Okay, now there is a chance that I've done this too tightly and that some of the garment in the middle won't dye very much. So I don't know. I feel like there's enough room for the dye to get in here. I didn't twist the rubber bands. I just put them on. So, alright. We'll see. I think that's going to be good. Okay, so we got the tying part. Let's get over to the kitchen and do the dyeing part. Hey, welcome to my kitchen, aka laboratory. You can tell I'm trapping my surfaces with some old towels. I have one on the floor as well. I've also got paper towel handy in case there are any drips or splatters. I'm going to try to clean those up right away because this dye can leave stains on walls and formica and the floors, and I'm kind of paranoid about that. So I'll be trying to clean up as much as I can. I've also got this really cool cleaner right there. It's called Barkeeper's Friend, and that stuff is amazing for taking stains out of surfaces. My grandma recommended it, so thank you, Emma. That stuff's really good to have around if you're doing some projects that could stain. I'm also wearing some dark colored old clothes, so if I get dye on me, I'm not going to worry too much. Of course, I got my gloves. I've got a spoon that I'm going to be using only for dyeing things. It's not a cooking spoon anymore. It's just used for dye. And then I was opening up the box of my Rit dye to check out the directions. We're going to be using that sink bucket method there on the box. They give you all the step-by-step, but one of their recommendations, I'll refocus here, is that you use about a cup of salt for every pound of cotton fabric. So I've got some salt. I'll be using that. They also recommend a little bit of dish soap in there as well. And you could do this on the stove in a pot. I am going to be using the sink. So let's get the sink filled up with some water. I've also boiled some in my hot pot, and we'll get that going. Okay, got the sink filling up. Sorry, gonna be a little loud in here. Gonna be adding salt. You can see I don't have quite enough salt. This happens every single time I tie-dye. I always forget to buy extra salt. So if you're working with cotton, get some salt when you pick up your dye at the store. I'm gonna use what I've got, and then I'll get the dye in there and start mixing it up. Let's dive right in. Okay. Oh boy. Here we go. Ooh, oh, whoa. Ooh, okay, that is colorful. I'm actually seeing a lot of like purple tones, just kind of as it's dumping into the water. We'll see if that changes at all. Okay, this is probably just about as much water as I want. I might have to add a little bit more. I don't want it to slosh around too much. Okay, trying to get the salt dissolved in the bottom. Trying to get the dye all dissolved as well. You can also buy jugs of liquefied Rit dye. Those are really nice if you're doing like a big project because you don't have to dissolve it. It's already liquid. Okay, so this is feeling pretty good. It's also looking kind of evil. Oh my word. Whew. Okay. Now I gotta go run and grab the garments. Here I go. Ha. Garments. Okay, here we go. Whoa. Oh my gosh. So just initially, like first dip. That's actually kind of cool. That's kind of the kind of like the smoke blue that I was kind of hoping for. So let's get this guy in, see what he does. A lot of bubbles. Huh. Okay, that's cool. So we're gonna try to, well, firstly, perks to working at the sink. Clean up a little splatterage here. A little bit here. All right. So the directions suggest keeping these guys in the hot solution for maybe 30 minutes. I think it's like 30 to 50 or something like that. I'm gonna be checking on these guys probably in, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 minutes, because again, I'm going for a lighter color. Granted, I know some of this dye is going to wash off in the wash, because it always lightens a little bit. And then I also know that I'm using at least twice as much fabric. Probably more like 3 times as much fabric as would be recommended for a really strong navy dye from that one package. So it's a little bit of a guessing game. I might pull it out after about 15 minutes, rinse it under some water a little bit just to see what's sticking, and then can keep it in the dye if I want it darker or not. That's just kind of one way to kind of tell a little bit. Whew. Okay. Well, let's check back in when these guys have enough color, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay guys, the moment has come. It's been about between 15 and 20 minutes, and I think these guys are looking pretty dark, so I want to pull them out before anything gets too much darker. Look at these guys. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's looking pretty dark right now, but let's rinse these off. Let's get some of the rubber bands off and see what happens. So I'm going to get these guys to the side. See if I can unplug my sink. Oh, whoop. a lot of dye. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. So let's start rinsing. Okay. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Oh my gosh. My sink is talking. Oh, whoa. Whoa, that's kind of a denim. That's really cool. It's like denim blue. Okay, so it looks like the rubber bands were not so tight that they kept dye from getting to the middle of, I think this is the dress. So that's great, because that was a concern. I have done garments where they really weren't dyed in the middle, but they were just dyed on the edges, and that still looks cool too, so just whatever you got, it's going to be cool. Okay. Oh, got another one here. So this was the one that we kind of just tried to scrunch up, to wad up a bit. Oh, there's the neck. Let's get this here. Just to try to get like an overall pattern. That is really cool. Okay, let's just put that one to the side. I've got a little dye drippage going here, so excuse me a moment. I want to get that off right away. Probably go back with a little cleaner as soon as I'm done doing the whole cleaning process. Okay. Sweatshirt. Gonna let some water run on this one while I untie this guy. Ooh, I'm seeing some kind of stripy shapes. That's good. There we go. See how this guy's coming. Yeah, some dye washing off. Want to try to get off as much residual dye as I can because it's going to be going in the washing machine next, and less dye in the wash is always a good thing. Yeah, okay, getting a little bit there. Let's turn that off for right now. Okay, so the sweatshirt was the one that I kind of tried to do an accordion fold on to try to get kind of a wavy, like stripe pool effect on. Let's see if that happened or if something else happened. It's all good. Oh, whoa! Holy moly. That's kind of cool. Okay, so there's the back. Here's the front. Let's look at the sleeve a little bit. Oh, wow. That is really interesting. That's cool. Oh, man. Okay, so this denimish blue is kind of growing on me, man. I want to see the other sleeve. Ooh, that's cool. Okay, so I think my next step is I'm going to wash these guys out in the sink. I'm going to get a little laundry soap in there, swish them around, squish them around, try to get out as much residual dye as I can. Just a note, Rit does do a dye fixative, which would be a second step here. I could take these garments and then soak them in a fixative and water solution for about half an hour to then kind of lock the dye in even more before washing them. I don't have fixative today, but I do recommend it. If you can get it, it's usually craft store or online is the best place to get that. If you have it, definitely use it. I'm going to wash these guys out as much as I can and take them to the laundry. Obviously, wash these with a dark load, please. You're going to always want to wash them with a dark load. You just don't want to, you know, dye your tidy whities at the same time. So, dark load for these guys, and then I'll check back with you guys when I wear them so you can see what they look like. I'm excited. Let's get this going here. Okay, bye for now. crafters. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed this project. Maybe it inspires you to... The waves are really loud. Hope it inspires you to try a little bit of tie-dyeing on your own. I'll link to some of the supplies I used and some of our other blog posts on the topic to give you some ideas. And yeah, enjoy. Happy summer, guys. Gotta show you what I'm looking at here. All right. Stay crafty, you guys. See you in our next video. Bye.